After all the rotten things done in its name, there's a lot of lying, a lot of dying.
So let me ask you, do you feel like forms of social control are getting, or is it clamping down more? And how do you propose to address that? Are you out of steam yet, or are you going to continue fighting?
No, the clampdown's getting far more vicious, than the way to oppose that's with revolution. That I mean, that's the short answer. But the longer answer is, I mean, seriously, as I was saying earlier, it's like, you know, they're talking about putting 100,000 new cops out on the street. They're talking about building more prison. You know, there's somebody who's doing 25 years to life for jokingly asking a kid for a slice of pizza. You know, out in
That's the 3 strikes you're out.
Yeah, with 3 strikes you're out. They're talking about, you know, throwing whole numbers of new people in prison forever. You know, they're bringing back the death penalty. I mean, it's like, I think they're going to have like random executions, just pick people up off the street. You know, okay, it's your time to die. Just flip the switch. I mean, you know, Pataki will probably call.
We'll have it when we draw for the lotto.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, we'll draw 2 numbers. One wins $6 million and gets to turn the switch on the other guy, you know. I mean, that's how sick, I mean, this is what, you know, this country's like coming up. And then, you know, with the cuts on welfare, I mean, there's sort of like their policy is women and children first. You know, it's like if, you know, if you're 18 and have a kid, you know, it's like, okay, well, kid doesn't get to go to school, kid doesn't get to eat, you don't have to have a home, you have to, you know, marry some abusive husband or whatever. I mean, and so that, I think, is providing, you know, a huge basis for people to want to really move against the system. And the one thing that it'll take to get rid of all of that, you know, the one thing that will really do away with it and bring forward a world where, you know, people aren't confronting each other as like owners, you know, owned and owners of property, or where, you know, men and women could actually relate to each other equally, or black people and white people, you know, and that's going to take revolution. And I think the fact that there are now demonstrations in New York of like, you know, 20 or 30,000 people, you know, of healthcare workers because of the proposed cuts from healthcare, or, you know, demonstrations of 100,000 people in Los Angeles and in San Diego against, you know, the Proposition 187, the laws that are attacking immigrants. I mean, people all over the system are starting to move and call for like shutting down the cities and stuff like that. Now that by itself isn't going to be enough, but that's where things are headed.
All right, you call yourself a revolutionary artist. Are you a revolutionary or an artist?
Yes.
And how does that work?
Well, it works by, I mean, if you're serious about revolutionary art, you got to be serious about revolution, you know. And I'm serious. I want to see the U.S. overthrown at the soonest possible moment, and I work every day for doing that. A lot of times I do that through my art, but I'm not just limited in that, because I don't think that if we just happen to, you know, create some radical work, that by itself is going to free people. You know, I'm also serious as hell about my art. You know, it's like that's one of the main ways I go out and, like, you know, do battle with the enemy and inspire people. I mean, the thing that was like really profoundly you know, gratifying and reaffirming about the whole artwork that I had in Chicago wasn't even principally that, say, George Bush publicly had to criticize me for it, which was a real honor, you know, to have like George Bush not only know you exist, but the fact that he says, you know, he hates you. That's,
do you know you were also a Jeopardy question?
yeah, it was a Jeopardy question, which, you know, and I was like, oh, hey, the dog just turned off the lights. What's up with that? But anyway.
He's a revolutionary dog.
Yeah. No, man, this is what happens on, like, you know, cable access. I mean, it's like, I can't believe y'all are watching it. But anyway.
They're watching because you have something to say now.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So anyway, but the other thing, you know, I was saying is that, come on in. So...
What were you going to say, Dred?
I've forgotten what I was going to say, because, like, there's...
Let me ask you something.
Yeah,
what exactly about your art contributes to revolution?
Well, but what I was going to say, and it follows up with that point, is that the thing that was really gratifying was, you know, going on talk shows and hearing lots of people call in and say that, you know, my work really spoke to them, that they were like living in the housing projects or in like backwater towns in Texas, and that they, you know, had reason to hate the flag and hate what it had done to them. And, you know, women called in and said, you know, she's got to like set of dish rag flags, which she uses on the 4th of July to wipe off the barbecue pit and stuff like that. You know, just like sort of quirky stories from all across America where people are like saying, yo, you know, you're speaking for us, you're standing for us. And that's one of the ways, you know, bringing people forward to actually, you know, come to a deeper understanding of the world around them and hopefully help to, you know, move against the system. And with that piece in particular, you know, it's like, right after that, you had all these like hip hop songs where people were talking "burn the flag." You know, you had like Ice Cube and the Goats and people in their songs talking about dissing the flag, and that didn't happen before the whole battle. So
So, well, we know Dred's taken a stand. Do you consider yourself a social historian, or are you on one side of this issue?
Well, I consider myself a sociologist who's also in the witness protection program.
Is that why you're wearing the dark glasses?
That is why I'm wearing the dark glasses.
They burned political officials in the while they were wearing the flag.
I wanted to in whatever time we have left, point out that even though the Supreme Court has ruled that flag protection acts in general are unconstitutional, as Dred pointed out earlier, there are a number of cases in which individuals have been arrested and charged with incite to riot, a number of other crimes and statutes that law enforcement has at their fingertips. Very interesting case. Mark Cox in 1991 was convicted of insult to flag after tossing 3 of them into a creek during a quarrel with his fiancée.
Was that a state law?
It was a Pennsylvania state law. And he was sentenced by the Warren County Judge Robert Wolf to pay $500 to serve a jail term of 90 to 23 and a half months and to write an essay on the man without a country. Judge Wolf told Cox that he read the book, he wanted him to read the book and write a report so that he would rehabilitate his attitudes toward the flag. I might add that Cox's conviction was overturned on appeal on technical grounds. And there are more than a dozen of these types of cases around the United States. One in particular is the case of the Old Glory Condom Corporation, which billed its products as condoms with a conscience. They spent 3 years in litigation before winning the right from the U.S. Patent Office to register as a trademark the exterior packaging of its condoms.
Why would anybody want to wear a flag on their dick, though?
Well, it's according to the Old Glory Condom Corporation, their condoms feature flag-like images in the shape of unfurled condom bearing the slogan "Worn with Pride, Countrywide."
Okay, give me a really quick prediction. How do you think this issue is going to go?
There's going to be more rebellion, more people, and I think all the people out there ought to think about, have you burned a flag today? And if not, why not?
I think that what Dred is suggesting is that we are becoming more repressive, and government is having a hand in manufacturing various forms of repression, both formally and informally.
Okay, so that means watch out. Do what you will, but watch out. Thanks for joining us.